Globalization changed the way people are living currently and introduced them to different cultures, food, traditions, and other things from different parts of the world. It made it easier for products to enter our market, and this gave us the chance to try different food from all over the world. It made food from different cultures and countries become easily available to the people. With the growth of each nation, the variety of national restaurants helped you to have a taste of their culture. But what came up to my mind is that did our parents and other siblings have the same food we are having today, or they had a totally different lifestyle and food? I decided to ask these questions to my father. I came to know a lot of significant information after interviewing my parents. My dad was born in the early 1960s. He was born and raised in Port Said. It's a city that lies in northeast Egypt. It's along the coast of the Mediterranean Sea, north of the Suez Canal. It's well known for its fishing industry. At home, we live a healthy diet, but I tend to have a lot of fast food every once in a while. So fishing and agriculture is what surviving was back then. There was rarely any shopping malls back then to get your groceries from. It was more like traders in the street who had their own farm or such. Life was not easy like now. People were restricted to seasons. They couldn't eat whatever they want at any time. If he wanted a special fruit, vegetable, or fish, he had to wait for a specific season where he had to grow or fish at. They used to get the fish from the sea. Now they have made fish farms where they grow fish to be given to us when they grow up. Now we can get everything from the grocery stores, and I can even find goods that are from all across the world. My dad didn't really have a favorite dish. He just liked anything fresh and homemade. And even till now, he prefers homemade fresh dishes rather than getting fast or frozen food. His taste to food did not change. He still sticks to his diet that he was raised on. He hates fast food and always encourages us to eat fresh meals. Chicken, rabbits, and sheep are what you will mostly find in a farm. From the vegetable side will be mostly rice, corn, and peas. My dad said that at his time there was no brands like now. Fast food restaurants were really not that famous, and also food brands people cared about eating a fresh meal. He said that the good thing about now that at the past he depended on season. He had to eat and grow specific things according to each season. But now due to transportation, he can eat whatever he wants at any season. At the past, they nearly planted everything. Now we can get frozen peas or carrots coming from Asia. We can get product from Europe and also Africa. People can travel the world and taste different food from their plates. If I have to say, looking back, they lived a healthy life and things weren't as easy as to them. They had to somewhat strive to reach what they are now. Having a healthy and lifestyle plays a significant role in growing up, in which it impacts our way to reach success. Having everything easily approachable grows on you, and becoming successful is not an easy ladder. Growing up in an advanced, urban, industrialized city where almost everything isn't far from the palm of your hand, one tends to grow sluggish in comparison to the older generation. For instance, my parents and grandparents who grew up in a developing country are quite active even at a late age, unlike the uprising generation. My father always used to emphasize on how difficult it was to growing up back in his days, where it was from transportation or to contact. But the one thing he brags about is food. Nowadays, the faster the better. Fast food and frozen good is what we mainly consume, while they used to have their own farms or go fishing. The past generation had a totally different lifestyle and food compared to the one you are having right now. I don't think obesity was a major problem back in the days, but now it is, due to the fast food and frozen foods we are having. This is now an issue. After doing this paper, a question came up to mind. After 20, 30 years, will we have different food than the ones we are having now? Oral food history. It started all when I was assigned to know more about my food and agriculture history by asking my grandmother questions about her life and experience with food and trade, and how it developed to what we know now. I was surprised by the answer she gave me and how hard their life was. It never occurred to me that a lot of effort and hard work was made to get food. The special talk we had in the Majlis was full of information that wasn't anticipated. It made me feel grateful for the evolution of food trade, as well as how things are a lot easier now. My grandmother was born in Al Ain, exactly Hafid area, a rural area where everybody knew each other. In Hafid, things were organized in a way that each house had its own type of work, which made them dependent on each other. She is now approximately 77 years old, a mother of 9, who took full responsibility in taking care of them. She also lived in Quetat area and then finally she settled in Saruj. Furthermore, she loves seeing the nature, planting different type of plants by herself and cooking. They used to eat salted fish, biah, a type of fish to be exact. Awal, rgag bread, date and chami. Moreover, there were only some vegetables, and they didn't grow any type of fruits. They didn't have a lot of food options since it was hard to find chicken or meat, and because of that they would have chicken or meat twice a year. Two trading principles were used to get food. First, trading with people who came from other area loaded with different type of food they didn't have. Second was going to some souks like Souk Al Ain and Souk Al Baremi. A lot of food was traded there like rice, fruits and wheat. When I asked about her favorite food, she said that her favorite food never changed, even with the availability of international meals. She still likes to eat fish stew with rice and awal. She describes that food has changed a lot now, since now there is many types of meals to choose from, and that buying food now is easier than before. The development in the food trade, in her perspective, is a double-edged sword. Things since it's easier now to get food, and that there is a lot of options to choose from, but on the other hand, most of the food nowadays aren't healthy and organic like before. There is way more fat and sugar and less vegetables. Also, the foods they used to eat were found by them and not bought by anonymous people. After having this conversation, my grandmother and I sees the hard time they had to go through just to buy or exchange food. I feel grateful to how I'm living now. I can't imagine not having pizza, burgers, pasta, kebab, and other international food, which is a result of the global food trade. It made trading and buying food a lot easier, and we should appreciate that. In conclusion, I have really enjoyed knowing more about my grandmother past, and I'm glad that I made her happy by asking these questions. She liked the fact that I'm interested in knowing more about how everything developed, and her advice that it's good to see how everything began to really appreciate what we have now. So, to compare both these cultures, we can find that in Egypt they had an agriculture that's why they have more variety in fruits and vegetables, and they had railroads, which made trade easier and faster. While in the UAE, they didn't have that much of fruits and vegetables, and they usually took days to trade. They transported using camels and donkeys and horses. Thanks for everything, and I hope that you will learn.